This is verse 49 of the 13th chapter, Gospel of Matthew. Jesus wrapping up the parable that he told concerning the fishermen who go out and drop a net over the side of the boat, and of course the net drops down, it's weighted, and so it traps all kinds of stuff in its descent. And then they pull the net back up, and of course in the net is going to be all kinds of things that don't necessarily translate into a profitable venture. And so the next task is to separate the things that are worthless from those that are good and marketable, and that is exactly what happens, Jesus says, as he draws the pointed conclusion that we have here now, beginning in verse 49, hutos. Indeclinable adverb means thus, in this way, estai. From eimi, I am, this is the third person singular future active indicative, thus it will be. In preposition with the dative te, sun te leia. The dative here in the definite article with sun te leia from sun telos. Telos, of course, is the idea of the end or purpose of something. The sun adds some emphasis to it, the consummation, the final expression. And Jesus says to ionos, of the age, notably singular, sometimes translated of the world, but of course that may or may not be quite accurate. Some think it refers to the end of the Old Covenant age and the judgments that befell Jerusalem. It's certainly a possibility, but the general force of it seems to point to a greater consummation at the end of human history. It's a debated point, but one way or another it's referring to a time of judgment. So thus it will be in the consummation of the age. And then explaining it, exelusumtai, this is from ex erkomai, it's the future, the plural, third person plural, future active indicative, so they will come out. From exerchomai, the subject, hoi angeloi, the angels will come out. Kai aphoriusen. This is from aphorizo. Aphorizo is combined of apo, from, and the horizo means to separate or draw a boundary. Our word horizon derives from that. So there's a separation here, things separated from, in this case, and they will separate tus ponerus. Notice here it's the idea of moral evil. In the preceding verse, in the parable, it was simply those things that are worthless, but now Jesus adds a moral component. Thus, the evil will be separated. Ek preposition takes the genitive ek mesu from mesos, means the midst. And so out of the midst, and then ton dikaion, of the righteous. So the evil separated, taken out, and of course the judgments that are implied here are once again going to be spelled out with some clarity as Jesus wraps this discussion up. But the central point, of course, is that there is this idea of those that are coexisting in the community of faith, maybe in the church or in the kingdom at least, and yet ultimately their ability to stay in that situation is going to be terminated by this final judicial act.